Today we have a very special guest. He's an incredible cinematographer who also shot one of our favorite films, as we've often mentioned on the podcast, Come and See. Among his other credits are the films Farewell, Orlando, The Party, and Admiral. We're really pleased to welcome Alexei Rodionov with us today. Alexei, thank you for doing this.
Yes, thank you.
We're
Welcome.
thrilled to see you.
Okay. You're welcome. So first of all, I would like to say something to Roger.
Oh, okay.
Roger, a couple months ago, I got a link from one director with whom I worked before, a link on your interview on Come and See. And really, I was so pleased that it's first time I have heard something really sensible about the image.
Really?
It was so exact that really it was a pleasure to feel how you deep understand what we are doing. We are not doing just a good movie. We are not thinking about that. We're just thinking about the sense, nothing else. So thank you very much for this. Yeah.
We'll want to talk about
it. My pleasure.
Yeah.
I'm glad you liked it. Good.
We'd like to start by asking you how you got to where you are today. What was your path? Did you start doing something else and then find cinematography, or was this something you always wanted to do?
No. Actually, my life, I was interested in images. Probably from the childhood.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that I built my first slide projector in the age of 8.
Wow.
From a paper curtain and lenses from spectacles.
Wow.
Then I was trying to start painting, but I understand that I don't have talent, so it was useless. Then I got a still camera at the age of 14 and start making stills. And then I was very lucky to meet one director. Actually, this famous director, Soviet famous director, Grigory Rashal. He was a rather famous director. And we actually became friends. Even he was about 60 and I was just 15, 16 years old.
Wow.
And I got interested in cinema. So just on graduating this school, I entered the film school, the VGIK, Moscow Film School, and that's it. And after that, I was just in cinema. Actually, I was very lucky because imagine the first time I worked in real movies, it was the last movie of Sergei Rusevsky.
Wow.
So I worked as assistant to Sergei Rusevsky, and it was a great school for me, of course.
Yeah.
So it's really great, yeah.
That's great. So did you start out by being an assistant and then gradually work your way up to actually being...
Yes, then I became the student. And at that time, GIG was, it was a great advantage, of course, because it was, we can do a lot of practical. You may imagine being on the, I think it was the second course. I shot the full-length documentary movie.
Wow.
Devoted to the 50s, it was a celebration of 50 years of GIG, and I made it with Vladimir Menshov. By the way, he was the Moscow winner, one of the Soviet directors. It was really 1 hour full documentary, and we went to some, it was really exciting. We went to shoot the shooting of Waterloo by Bondarchuk. Then we went to the stage of Grigory Kozintsov shooting King Lear. So it was a great experience.
Yeah. Yeah. You must have learned a lot on that too.
Were you influenced a lot by Russian cinema or Soviet cinema, Eisenstein and whoever, or were you also influenced by outside films, even by American films?
You see, I think we have a good filmotheque in VGIG. So we have seen, we have courses of the world history cinema and Soviet cinema. And we have seen a lot of films. So we have some understanding what was happening just from the beginning of the century. So I can't say that I have some special interest.
Right.
I like different films because you see.
Were there any in particular that really hit you about previous films?
Yeah, maybe I was excited with the film. I think it was, I was still in VGIG. I was excited, as I remember, by the film by Ingmar Bergman. Let's see, the Strawberry
Oh, Wild Strawberries.
Yeah.
Yes. I always remember being affected by his earlier film, Hour of the Wolf. Do you remember Hour of the Wolf? I just, that stayed with me
No,
for...
I have seen it.
forever.
No, I haven't seen this film.
Oh, Hour of the Wolf is very strange. Wonderful movie. I always remember that. Anyway, yeah.
What would you say the difference between Soviet cinema and other cinema is? What do you think the strengths are? And
You see, I think it's more. I prefer to speak different directors, not Soviet cinema, Western cinema.
Yeah.
It's every film is a person.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
Yeah. But okay. There are a few directors outside of outside of
Of course,
Russia.
I loved Andrei Tarkovsky.
I was going to say, there's few directors like Andrei Tarkovsky.
But be honest, maybe not now.
Yeah.
You see, it's, your preferences are changes with ages.
Right. Well, it's true. Except for, I think, Andrei Tarkovsky's first film, Ivan's Childhood, it's probably still my favorite film after all these years.
I have been on the stage shooting The Mirror, and I have been on the stage shooting Stalker.
Oh, really?
Because you see, I was a friend, Georgi Rerberg, who you know who Georgi is. We were friends. We were friends with him. So I just visited him on the set.
Wow. What was the set like? Was it organized? Was it
quite ordinary? Maybe a little bit. It was reminding a little bit. For me, it's reminded a little bit painting too much. It was too much artistry for me.
Well, then tell us, how did you come to be working with Ilim Klimov on Farewell?
It's not. It's little to be not a little bit serious. It was like in vaudeville, when a star actress is getting ill and somebody young appears on the stage. Because you see, after this tragedy, starting. Actually, I'm speaking about how staff collaboration with Klimov on Farewell. So, the tragedy director of the Farewell, who was his wife, they died in the car accident. Actually, all the creative crew. And then Klimov suggested to shoot this film by him. So it was a good chance, I think. And he invited a cinematographer, Yuri Skirtladze, with whom he shot a lot years ago, a film Sport. And at that moment, Yuri Skirtladze was working on TV, where also I was working. And we were friends. I worked with him like a camera operator. So he suggested to go to the film just together. So it's happened like this. But after that, you see, Yuri got ill, and actually I stayed only one on this film.
Right.
So we have found good communication with Ilim. So he became friends with him just up to his death.
Right.
Yeah.
And that film was made primarily with non-actors, was it?
You mean Come and See, sorry? Or
Farewell? No, Farewell.
No, it was a lot of professional actors.
Oh, was it? Oh.
No. It actually happened later that in Come and See, almost the main leading characters were not actors.
Right.
And yet he got such amazing performances from them. I mean, they're haunting.
Yes, we're very lucky, I think, to have I think it's incredible opportunity we have to work on Come and See. Because you imagine, first of all, we have a very long preparation period.
Right.
How long?
Half a year. It was quite unusual for
a year
movie, and especially for contemporary Russian cinema. It's incredible. After that, we had the opportunity to shoot the whole movie in script continuity.
Right.
Wow.
So imagine we can return several times on the same location because in the script it was later.
Yes.
And it was, of course, it was great for the actors which were not professional.
Yeah.
So step by step, it was great. Then the shooting period, you can imagine, it was about 9 months.
Wow. Wow.
It's
Wow.
incredible.
Yeah. And it's never happened again to you, right?
No, it's you may have only one chance in your life.
Yeah, that must have been amazing. I believe that Ilham Klimov spent 7 or 8 years trying to get the project together, and maybe it was only because
You see, this project was first started in 1776 or 77. And it was closed due to the political considerations of the leaders.
Right.
They just have a prep period that was ready for principal photography, but then they stopped. It was a great shock for Klimov, of course.
Right.
And then it's again begin.
Right. How much prep had Klimov done before you came onto the project, or had you done prep with him in terms of?
No, I was on this project just from the very beginning.
Right.
We spent really a lot of time. And it's interesting. We're not discussing how we'll do it, but we are, how do you say, we're eating the stuff, the material.
Yeah.
First of all, we spent 1 month on regular locations. Also, I was with him on casting. Because we're traveling to different theaters in different towns, and I was with Oleg because he wanted that I will make still as these actors or just to look at him on these people.
Right.
And of course, we're talking and discussing what we have seen. We have seen a lot of documentaries. I think we spent maybe 1 month watching documentary in the center of archival. Белые столбы. And of course, it was very helpful.
Right.
We watch German documentary, Soviet documentary, watch even some feature films made in that is Germany. We have read a lot. And after choosing regular locations, watching the different actors, we started testing on video, testing the actors. Different actors, and for example, with the Kravchenko, with the boy who played the main role, it was we have shot a lot just in a small room. We were only 3 of us, video camera, and it was rehearsal tests, I will say. It was very useful.
Well, it must have been useful also for him to get used to the camera, having a camera pointed at him. If you're testing with him and he knows, okay, this isn't a performance.
Yes, they will know that we are shooting them. But we protected them. It was a sort of shades, just a hole for the lens.
Oh, really? We've done that too. Yeah.
We had to do that on a film called Kundun, where we had these young children who
were easily distracted.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. So I believe the film is also... It's all based on testimonies from Belarusians who lived through the war and those experiences. I mean, how much were you trying to stick to the reality of what happened?
First of all, it was a great help from the Alexei Rodionov, who was one of the authors of the script, and actually the script was based on his books.
Right.
And he was also in partisan squad during World War, so he had great experience. He remembered a lot of details. He uploaded us with this atmosphere. Also, of course, just on the Reki, we're at the same places when all these terrible things happens.
Yeah.
You see, even the feeling of this space helps a lot. You start feeling how you may imagine inside. You see the place, you see the village, you see the forest, you see the swamp, and then you may produce in your mind how it may happen physically.
Yeah.
So how did you start?
Take a good example. I'm proud, but you see, Ilham Klimov has a great talent to inspire you. Because you feel working with Klim, I was really much more creative than some other directors.
Yeah.
Because he influenced you just to produce something in your mind. And
Yeah.
of course, I feel it's coming from outside, not from my brain, but from somewhere from outside, you see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So I'm proud that it was my suggestion,
Yeah.
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 when the heroes see all killed villagers just around the corner. Originally, the script, it was the idea that they were digging in the ground and it was a cloud of flies. But I think it was not practical, first of all. How we will make flies just create
Hang in there.
cloud. But then for me, it was too literary. It's like it's image,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And then I just not think you say they just round the corner. That's it. So simple.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you see, Ellen adapted it
Yeah. Yeah. That was really interesting because
the space suggests you a decision. You see.
yes. It was really interesting, but also the use of sound when the boy and the girl are in the kitchen eating, and then the sound of flies just gather, and you know something is really wrong, and then when they start leaving, they start running away, and it's only a look back by the girl
Just
that you
a short
actually
look
see
back,
that,
yeah.
which is brilliant because the kid is trying to deny it's happening anyway. I think it's really masterly.
But it was real flies in this
Really?
side.
I bet.
It was disgusting smell, really.
Well, also
Everything was real.
the shot of the dolls is also very strong, and you're not even able to intellectually say why. You look at those dolls, and it also helps you say something is not right here.
Yeah, building of suspense. How did you come to break down the way it was shot? Did you do storyboards? Did you talk in prep about specific shots?
No, it was not. We never even think about storyboarding. I think it's that typically it's happened. We just know the place, then we again go to the location, to the real location, spend the time just to fill this space. You see, and then we start saying that this action happened here, this happened there, just practical. Of course, it's a luxury. We have time for this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But
I think actually it's the ideal way to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also now even I can understand. You have actors, you have storyboards, and you make actors just to follow storyboards. You will have a cartoon, I think.
Yes.
There's a danger of that.
You need two actors to play, and then ask them what is better for them.
Yeah.
Sometimes storyboards, though, can be a way of just getting to know the script. And so you play around and you do this storyboard and you have your concept of the script there, but then you need to leave them home, come on the set and see, because you know the scene so well and you know what it is you want to say, but then you see the actors and you see the actual place and you go, no, we should shoot it this way, I think.
But you see, I agree with you because usually you are not shooting in the script continuity.
Yes. That's
Without
true.
The storyboard, it will be a mess.
Right.
But we are shooting in script continuity.
Right.
I also have one good quotation from Werner Herzog, who told, if you need a storyboard, it means that you are not ready to shoot.
Very good.
I'll quote that to a director. I know. Interesting.
It must be inside you.
Yeah. No, I think that's very perceptive.
You need to eat a storyboard and digest it. Something like this.
Did you know when you were shooting the movie what an incredible movie it was?
No, I never thought about it.
Yeah.
You see, it's a fan. For me, it's a great fun to shoot movies. I would prefer to shoot than to watch. I think it's much more interesting to shoot movies than to watch it.
I'm with you there. I'm right with you there. I wish I could shoot all the time and never go to the cinema to watch a film. Wouldn't that be nice?
Oh, but it's also fun to see what other people do.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I want to know, just on a technical level then, so you're doing a lot of location scouting. You're talking about the staging, like where the bodies are going to be put and how you're going to reveal them. But then how do you decide what equipment you're going to have? I mean, Come and See is quite famous, I would suppose you could say, for its use of Steadicam. How did that come about? How did you choose the equipment you were going to use and the style of shooting?
You see, we don't have a great choice, a great opportunity to choose what equipment to use because it was very basic, I will say. And Steadicam, we're just lucky. This Steadicam was bought. The studio, it was the second model of Steadicam, which was bought by studio for the first run of Come and See, and it was just sleeping somewhere on the shelf. It was not in great order, by the way. And I started, let's try it. I never tried it. So I tried to shoot in Steadicam. That's it.
So you were operating the Steadicam?
Yes, I was operating.
Really?
Oh, well done.
Wow.
I never knew. That was really well done. I've tried to operate a Steadicam and no way.
No, there are some awful shots done with Steadicam. It's crap, but what you can do. I was learning during shooting.
Yeah.
And also it's funny, one funny thing. Very soon the monitor has died. And what to do? And then, I send a photo with the Steadicam. I use a side viewfinder. Non-reflex camera.
Wow.
Just put it on Steadicam.
Wow.
It was only problem with parallax.
Yeah.
But in some way I adapted to it. So when from the wide shot I go to close, I need to cut like this, and it works.
So
it has a great advantage because the quality of the original monitor, this military greenish awful monitor, especially shooting in low light, you can hardly see
anything.
And this optical monitor, this optical viewfinder was perfect. You can shoot just in darkness.
So then can I say then that some of those really interesting compositions were down to the fact of bad parallax on your viewfinder?
Maybe, I don't know.
He's just kidding.
I am just joking. I mean, it was perfectly shot. I'm not saying it was perfect in terms of the camera moves and the kind of, things weren't perfect, but that really suited the story,
movie,
didn't it? The mood of the movie. But there's obviously, we could talk for hours about every shot in it, but there's also a kind of wide range of styles of shooting. There is quite a bit of handheld. There's quite a bit of work on a dolly. There's some zoom shots, and there's quite a lot of work, especially at the end, with split diopters. So again, how did all those come about? Did you just have all this in the truck and then they came out on the day?
Yes, we have it on the truck.
Right.
So we just use it when we want.
Yeah.
The split diopter is an interesting thing. Actually, I have done it first time. Probably remember it was a pen. The first split diopter is not in shot, and then we come on the and just. I think, but if you first of all you need to have the diopter not on camera but in front of it, so I put it on the tripod. Then I adjust the camera on the panning head just to pan around the nodal point, and it works.
Yeah,
the body is not moving.
Yeah, it's such a simple trick, but it's a beautiful result, isn't it? Yeah, it works really well. When you were shooting, I mean, there's some amazing use of the light. I mean, how did you shoot? You had quite a long shooting schedule. Did that allow you to shoot with the right light? I mean, there's an extended sequence that goes from the boy and the cow shot. He wakes up and it's foggy, as an intense, thick fog. And that fog remains until you follow the motorbike into the village where the church is, where the Germans are about to devastate the village. How did you create that? Did you wait for that light, or is that all an effects it seems too big
No,
to
it
do
was
its effect.
artificial. We used smoke cans,
Wow.
some type
Oh.
of cans.
Yeah, yeah.
Which actually I like this smoke because it's much better than the smoke from smoke machine because it's
Yeah.
really white. It's not blue. It doesn't have bluish cast.
Yeah.
It's more heavy, so he stays more.
Yeah.
So it was very simple. We have about 20 people with these cans,
Wow.
which were just burning, burning, and burning. This morning, I think we burned about 150.
Wow.
No, I just feel that that whole sequence is very impressive because it's very hard to keep an atmosphere like that consistent, and it's really it works so well.
We were lucky. It was August, so it was not windy, just a little bit windy.
Mm-hmm.
And the direction of the wind was absolutely right for us.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wow, it sounds so simple.
And it was shot, by the way, it was sunny weather.
Oh, really?
It was sunny weather about probably 10 a.m. in the morning.
Right.
Wow.
Wow.
Quite comfortable shooting, I must say.
All sounds so easy.
And I was sitting just on the trunk of the car with Steadicam on me. That's it.
Wow.
So I used Steadicam like a stabilizer.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
Because of course
Yeah.
it was very shaky.
Yeah. No, that's
But also it was a great, what I would say, I think
Yeah.
it was a great work of director's assistants, because you imagine how to organize this arrival of these tracks
yeah.
at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
great work from the directors.
Yeah.
department.
And the idea of spending that long behind the motorbike with the corpse on the back on the little trailer, the idea of spending that long behind that bike going through and revealing the village, was that something that you and Elim were conscious of when you shot that? You must have. It's a long shot. But did you imagine that would be so powerful in the film as a shot?
No, we are not thinking about the reaction.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to shoot it.
Yeah, but the length of
really,
it, you know? I mean, the length of it, I mean, it's almost like you wonder why you're on the back of this motorbike for so long.
And yes, you are mentioning about very important thing. You see, it's a whole movie about where always a word straightforward showing something. So you need to create the suspense.
Yeah,
You don't clearly understand what is happening.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
This is important, and it's make you very uncomfortable. You can't know what is happening. It's something strange, something dangerous, but you don't know what exact. You know, this actually it's just at the end of the movie the Germans appear. So only once we see the German parachutist at the beginning. That's it.
Right.
That no Germans. Then first just fog, some silhouettes of the cars, some silhouettes of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah. And then you come into the village and there they are.
Yeah.
It just builds up.
Yeah.
How was that? I mean, I wanted to ask in general, was it just you with a single camera?
Yes, it's one camera.
Wow.
Just very few times we have, when it was only one shot, something is burning, destroying, just for safety, we put one camera on tripod just
in case.
we can do.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it was only one camera.
Wow. So then when the Germans are herding the people in the church and burning the church, how did you structure shooting that? Because it's a very complex scene and it gradually becomes more and more intense and kind of chaotic. I mean, it's an extraordinary scene. How long did it take to shoot, and how did you decide what shots you were going to do?
Be honest, I don't remember exactly how many days it took. I think it's maybe 2 or 3 days, maybe.
Really? Yeah.
And again, I say that it was a great work of the director's assistants and director.
Yeah.
Because nothing was on the paper before.
Wow.
So did you basically set the scene without burning the church and then figure out the staging of all the actors before you actually started shooting?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it was only one take.
Yeah, he only burnt it once.
Well, so there was no effects. You actually put a match to the church, and the poor German in the bell tower actually had to slide down the roof and the thing was burning. There was no control.
By the way, I must say that actually there are only 2 or 3 Germans in this company.
Right.
You know, it's collaborators. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Yes. Interesting. So, and then again, in the middle of the action, it cuts away to another German vehicle, and you come with that vehicle again back into the action, and it's like a time passage and things have got more chaotic. I'm always interested in how shots like that are imagined.
Well, what shot? To be honest,
Well, yeah, maybe it's hard to remember, but you follow the motorbike into the village and it all starts.
Yes.
And then at one point during that main action, you cut to another vehicle coming in, and I think there was some sort of drunk Germans on it, and you come with them, and there's a girl that gets taken out of the truck, and you come back in the action again,
It's a car with a radio, you mean?
Yes, that's it, yes.
Radio car.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important that we're looking in front of it, but not back.
Right.
So actually it's a reverse. Actually, it's a reverse to the motorbike.
Right.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But was just some idea just to bridge a time jump in the action?
Yeah, I think. But also, you see, a radio car. It's not a military. It's not a military car. It's probably it was a symbol. I think it's a piece of propaganda. Dealing. You see.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. And the other thing in general about the film, how much did you shoot that's not in the final project?
Scene?
Yeah, in the final cut.
You mean when the partisans enter the village? You mean?
No, I mean in general in the film. In the film, in the
as a
shooting
whole.
schedule, are there many scenes that you shot that are not in the final product?
I don't understand.
Were there some scenes that didn't get put into the cut? In other words, you shot them, but
I
then
see what you mean.
Yeah.
What scenes were in the basket?
Yeah.
In the basket, on
in
the cutting
bin.
room floor.
A good question. When we start shooting the village episode, the first day we shoot scenes showing the cruelty of Germans, to collaborators with Germans, like the beating, killing.
Mm-hmm.
And we watch the dailies, and it looks so banal.
Yeah.
So probably was a couple of times when we tried to shoot, like an ordinary movie. We have seen it before. It was déjà vu, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't work. It was so fake.
Mm-hmm.
So finally we tried to avoid as much as possible to show some straight cruelty, the real killing, beating.
Mm-hmm.
You always know in movies that it's not real.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to shoot the way you feel what the people, what a human feel when he is beaten.
Mm-hmm.
He's not watching it from
outside,
you see?
Yeah. That's really true. And that's the strength of the movie, too.
Yeah, absolutely. In other parts of the film, there seems to be a kind of jump from one place to another. For instance, when the boy and the girl leave the village and they come to the swamp, you have them leaving the village, and then you cut immediately, and they're in the swamp. They're literally in the mud. And I always wondered if there was something shot that went between those two sequences.
You mean some link?
Yeah, that was on the cutting room floor. Or was that always conceived?
No, we have
like
nothing.
That?
We have nothing.
Right,
that's it. Really.
No, that's really interesting.
It was shot like this.
Right, that's really interesting. That it's that sort of time frame. Yeah. The other thing that film is known for is the use of sound. How much was recorded on the day, and how much is added afterwards, and how much did you know? You know the scene in the forest at the beginning. When the plane comes over and suddenly the there's the parachutist, and then the bombs going off in the forest, and the boy becomes almost deaf, and there's that weird distorted sound. Was that talked about on the day as you were shooting? Did you know that was the kind of sense of that scene?
Yes, we are shooting at the same. The sound was recorded at the same place and at the same time. I think we have a great sound recordist, Victor Morse. Victor Morse, I think he has done a great work.
Mm.
I still meeting him.
Ah.
Just a couple of days I was talking by phone with him.
Okay.
You see, he created a great amount of stuff. He was recording all the time, every sound was recorded. It was a huge amount of sound.
Mm.
Yeah.
And speaking about, of course, it was not sync sound due to there was a lot of noise.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the camera was noisy, and it was not professional actors. It's amazing, but the only sync sound which is used in movies, it's two monologues of the elder of the village. You remember the first close up and then his monologue when he was burnt. It was quite occasionally we found this man. He was great. It was just a peasant, local peasant.
So you put the sound in afterwards? Did you have the actual?
Yes, it was dubbed. It was dubbed, yeah.
And was it dubbed by actors or was it dubbed by the original people?
By the original actors.
Yeah.
No, I think the leader of the... No, it was the same actor. Because you see, the leader of Partisans, it was Lithuanian actor, theatrical. I think he is great. Actually, there are two great Lithuanian actors. One is Vladas Bagdonas, who played... it's a small role, but really very good. When it's a guy who was killed in the episode of The Cow.
Yeah.
He's very famous Lithuanian actor, theatrical. I think, no, it was original. It was, all the sound was original. It was done by original actors.
Yeah. And did you kill that cow, actually?
Yes, unfortunately, it was killed, yeah. It was really disgusting. Actually, I think, I don't like it. I think you may avoid it in some way, because again, it's a straight killing. I don't think good idea. Also, the cow is wrong, by the way.
Oh, really?
Because you see, this kind of cows appeared, it's a Holland cow, which they appeared in Russia only after war.
Yeah. Yeah.
The real cow must be black brownish.
Yeah.
The problem was that such cow you may find just private, and nobody wanted to give us to kill.
All right. Right. To kill a cow.
Yeah. Well, it also, if it has white in it, it stands out a bit more.
Yeah.
You know.
A little thing. But I heard that I read somewhere that you actually used live ammunition on some of those sequences.
Sorry?
Ammunition.
Live
gunfire and live ammunition on some
bullets.
of the sequences. Is
that
that
live
right?
bullets?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was how they called the
tracer bullets?
glowing bullets.
Wow.
Yes, it's real bullets, yeah. And we are just behind the concrete block.
Wow.
Oh, so you had protection.
And I was feeling with my back the bullets hitting the concrete. Quite exciting. I think it's much more furious for the boy, because we were just very close to this block, but the boy was just in 5 minutes, and these bullets was coming just in 1 meter above his head.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
It was very exciting.
Whatever happened to that boy? Did he act again?
He became an actor. He's very popular actor in the serials.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh,
that's great.
That's great. Didn't you read somewhere that...
I read, well, there's a sort of, the story goes that during the Eisenstein's shooting of the storming of the Winter Palace for his film, more people were killed in the filming than there were actually killed in the real event.
I never heard about
Oh
it.
yeah, apparently because the
It's
people.
strange because I have shot the biopic Eisenstein.
Oh really?
It was
Well, that.
with British director Rennie Butler. It was
Oh
a
yeah.
co-production of Canada, German production.
Ah. Oh.
So we have read about a lot of Eisenstein. So I never heard about it.
Yeah, I read somewhere that the people that he used to reenact the event were actually there, and they brought the
Well,
guns,
maybe.
and they never unloaded their guns. But anyway, I
it
don't
was
know.
one episode in America when they're shooting Viva Mexico. Really, one boy, no, maybe a teenager who was directing this boy, he killed occasionally his sister with the gun.
Oh God.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Then antagonized him delivering on the set from the jail.
Oh. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a lesson there, isn't it? What were
yeah.
you going to say?
I thought that you had read somewhere that Elam wanted to make sure that the boy wasn't traumatized.
Oh yes, I read. I also read that Elam Plymouth wanted to assure the boy wasn't traumatized by the experience of making the film, and he had a hypnotist on the set. Was that just a
Rumor.
myth?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, that's it's probably a myth.
By the way, I must say that I'm really proud from the whole crew that we didn't have any injuries on the set.
Yeah.
Never. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
With everything
That's
that
brilliant.
went on. Yeah.
Probably the last question I have on the
And
film.
also, I must say, we have a great pyrotechnics. Actually, he was a professional explosion engineer. Because all the explosions, it's real TNT up to 10 kilos.
Wow.
Yeah.
You imagine he was mathematically. He was on the paper, was preparing.
Right.
And it's amazing. He never hid during the explosions because, see, I'm responsible for safety. So I know where is the safe place. And he was just staying and watching.
Well, that's good. He stood where he needed to, yeah. I have one further question about the shots and the very final shot of the film, which follows the boy to the partisans going through the wood, which I probably a shot on Steadicam. How did that shot evolve? Yeah, how did that shot evolve?
It's the whole story. You see, because just before the shooting, we have all the extras, and it was on the day we may have such amount. And before, it was snowfall. But it was not winter yet, so we decided what to do. We have the opportunity to have a special machine they use for cleaning runaway in airports. Actually, it's a truck with the engine from the fighting plane. How we call it? Understand me?
Yeah.
Fighter plane.
Fighter plane.
Yeah.
And so we have this machine, and it was working probably 3-4 hours. And that it was November. And I saw that we have probably 1 hour for shooting because then it will be dark. And not the whole part of the forest was clean from snow. Then we say, let's go. They go from autumn to winter. Why not?
Yeah.
So that's why the way when I not follow all the way the partisans, but then the camera goes inside the forest without people, and then only after that we see the snow, not just to see the border.
Yeah.
We were watching it again.
So it was quite spontaneous, and after people said, "What a good decision!" Quite practical. It was only a practical decision. That's it.
We were watching it the other night, and I thought that was a wonderful trick. That suddenly it was the snow. You came out the forest, but how did the idea of following them and then tracking through the forest and then finding them again? How did that
happened spontaneously? It happened absolutely spontaneously.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah,
because we're hurried. We're losing light, so we need to do something fast. That's it. I think it was probably 2. I think it was 3 takes.
Wow,
that's it.
Wow.
And during this, I had fallen down on my back, by the way, with Steadicam.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
It was absolutely fine. We keep going.
I'm so impressed you did that. You know, we use a Steadicam a lot on films, but I would never dream of operating it myself. Well done. I want to ask you one further technical question on the film. How much artificial lighting did you use? Did you use any? I mean, it looks so natural.
Almost not at all,
Almost
I
not.
would say.
Yeah.
Of course, we use it only when we're shooting in exteriors. Of course, I have some. We're using old-time arc, like brute.
Brute arcs, yeah. Wow.
Brute arcs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a brute arc, some diffusion. That's it.
And that's it.
It's
also a matter
actually,
of
we
fact.
don't have any lights inside, just reflectors. I have used a lot of silver reflectors, white reflectors,
Right.
and black shading.
Right. Wow.
And also, you see, I have found it was my suggestion concerning makeup. You see, as far as we're not using light, very often the faces are dark and covered with some mud and something like this. I suggested to put a silver base on faces, just to reveal the three-dimensional feeling, and really it works really well.
Wow. We did something similar on a film on assassination of Jesse James, a kind of silver base makeup. It's really interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Especially it helps a lot at night shooting, of course, because you.
Yeah. Brilliant. So, did the film when it came out, did it change your life?
What was the reaction when it came out?
Yes, I think if I wouldn't have this film in my credit, probably I wouldn't get the work with Sally Potter.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how that came about, that you were working with Sally Potter on Orlando?
You see, what's the story? Sally Potter and with her husband, who is a producer, you see, of course, it was the beginning of 90s. And of course, it was a great interest to Russia from West because it was opened first time. Because it was adventure to go to Russia, you know. So they came to Russia and meeting some directors of photography, sort of interview. Yeah, they chose me. And then after that, I started asked why you decided to have Russian cinematographer. And the legend was that as far as Virginia Woolf was a great fan of Russian literature, we wanted to have some Russian element. I think it's a legend.
Oh, wow.
I don't believe it, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's nice. But Orlando was a very different film, right?
It's very different.
Yeah, very different.
How different was your approach, and how different was working with Sally Potter?
You see, it was great for me to work with Sally Potter. I think that's why I shot 2 more films with her. We have a very good rapport. I think she's very unusual person, a very unusual director. It's a great person.
But was her working style completely different than Klimov?
I can't say that completely. No, in some ways, something similar and something different. No, she's very human. You see, it's a very human atmosphere on the set of Sally, the same as the Klimovs. Maybe it's the thing which is similar. It's absolutely not formal, which made my life much easier because, of course, it was a great difference to work with British crew in England, absolutely different tradition of production and so on. And it helps a lot of such attitude to me. It was like a family relations, you know. But also, you see, Sally always has a great people in her crew.
And how much prep did you have for Orlando?
I'm sorry?
How much prep time did you have for Orlando since it was a new director?
Not too much, actually. Not too much. Probably I came to London to make some tests, probably maybe less than 1 month, I will say.
Wow, that wasn't much.
But it was extended in time. First time we met the year before in autumn because they had some idea to shoot something near Moscow, but it didn't work. Then we went to St. Petersburg to make acquainted with people. Then we went on recce to Khiva, Uzbekistan. And of course, we're talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
No storyboarding.
No storyboarding.
No storyboarding.
Deciding on the
No
day.
storyboarding. No.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
We're just discussing.
Yeah.
We're just discussing how to shoot, how many shots, how many setups. It was
Yeah. And how did you?
Very informal.
Yeah. How did you approach the lighting? Because there's some very intricate lighting in it. A lot of candlelight, a lot of night work.
In Orlando, you mean?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't say that we used. I not rely just on candlelight. It was supported, of course, by some lights, but very, in a very delicate way.
You must have worked very closely with the production designer and the art department for some of those sequences then.
In Orlando, no, I can't say. Because really I was, it was so much concentration for me just to concentrate on my work. Because first of all, I was, even not now, I'm very good in English, but you may imagine what happened at Orlando. Because I can't speak. You see, actually, I have graduated the special school with, we have literature, geography in English and so on, but I was not a good, not good in English. I have a very mediocre, I will say.
Wow.
But after, but you see, after graduating this school, I have read a lot of American cinematography. I have this opportunity, so I was reading a lot, but not speaking. So of course, I have some base.
Do you like? But there's a lot of, there's a lot of night work and candle work and that. Do you like working with the practical sources? I mean, how do you?
Yes, I like it.
Yeah. So, I mean, were you involved in where they were put and how many were, and the kind of whether they're double wick or triple wick candles and all that sort of thing?
But you see, at that time, the stock was still, I don't remember. Do we have 5 ISO sensitive stock?
Yeah, I don't know. There might.
But actually, be honest. You may shoot now with the digital cameras just with fire on the candles. But I must say that it was very interesting because the faces looks flat.
Yeah.
So you need to invent something.
Yeah. So what were you doing, and what kind of lighting did you use on Orlando?
What kind of light I have? Probably it was first time I had the opportunity to have some powerful HMIs, like 12K. It's first time I had the opportunity. Of course, it helped a lot of work in daylight interiors. And speaking about the night scenes, it was incandescent light. Incandescent, I don't remember. I think, we had the data lights. At that time, we have data lights, I think,
Data lights, yeah.
Yeah. Also, I like to light it with the, how to say, I remember, I lost the word. A chain with the lamps.
Oh, yeah, like a little strip light.
Yeah, strip light. Strip light. I use it a lot, making by myself.
Right, yeah. Well, we've got that in common, yeah.
It gives you something strange, not distinctive light. I like it. It's natural.
Yeah.
And it gives a nice reflection in your eyes. It's multiply sources.
Yes, multiple sources. Looks like it could be candles or something.
I see strip lights in your house.
Yeah, you've got it on your ceiling.
No. No. It's just spotlights. Just MR16. I think it's LED lights, which I hate. LED.
Yeah, I can't get used to them either. It's not, it's different, isn't it? Yeah. So then you recently did a film with Sally Potter called The Party. I'm really intrigued about that because it's in black and white and it seems like it's completely shot on one set. I presume it's one set, yes?
Yes, it's one set in London studios, which is a joke because it's, where it is.
Yeah. It's not really a
It's not,
studio.
it's not completely not London.
And not London, yeah.
No.
How was your approach to that film and prep? And because it's
Approach, I have no time to
No time.
to have any approach because you see I have a prep period 1 week, and the film was
prep
shot in
period of
15 days.
1
15
week.
days.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was really 1 week and 15 days of shooting. That's it.
Wow.
Wow.
But you see, we have experience. We have experience
Yeah.
to work with together with Sally and Carlos Conti, production designer.
Right. Right.
And
So
I
that helps.
spent a lot of time just during the set was building, which was very useful. Again, you are looking what you can do this. It's very.
Right.
So I think it's important to be in the studio just during building.
Yeah.
set.
So did you build lighting into the set, or was it a case of working with the production designer about the kind of lights that were put there, the kind of practical sources? Because
Yes, we discussed practical lights because actually, what are the lights? It was the serious lighting was just to light the yard,
right,
just to create the sky. Which
right.
was really, I was not happy with it because the ceiling was only 6 meters high.
Yeah,
You may imagine.
yeah. And it,
So it was a little bit fake, I will say.
I thought it looked great. I mean, I must say, because it made me think, now that's got to be a set, but it looked really good. And it goes from day, the film starts during the late afternoon, and it goes into
we discussed
night.
a lot, the change in light.
So you did the change of the light. And I thought it was really effective.
I hope it works.
Yeah.
What did you use there? Just technically, what kind of lighting did you use in that exterior space?
In exterior, I used practical lights and just added a little bit reflected light.
On the interior, but on
just
the
small sources. I have small kinofloors just to hide it somewhere where it's not in shot.
But no, on the exterior where you went from daylight to nighttime, what did you do to make it look like it was a daylit patio exterior?
Yes, we have. Actually, it was glowing ceiling. It was what kind? It was. It's not kinofloor. It was some custom made by the studio lights, which we put. Probably it was 40 units, and then I put a silk underneath. That's it.
Right.
And also we made it in the sunset with I think it was 18K HMI. But again, it was too close. I hate it when you watch this. The very first shot when Timothy Paul is sitting in the chair and we see this open to the yard, and I see that the rays from the side not parallel.
Parallel. I think we kind of.
But what you can do?
What can you do? Yeah,
you don't have enough space.
No, I mean, but it looked great.
You know this problem.
I do. I've done it many times. Exactly. Where you're filming in a set in a warehouse space, and the window's right against the wall, and you have to use a mirror and all these crazy things. Yeah, but no, it was.
It's the first movie I have shot black and white.
So
I shot it before.
Did you? But you shot that digitally.
Yes, it was
digital camera.
And actually, it exists two versions, color as well.
Yeah.
Right.
And we have grading first color and then black and white.
Right.
Yeah.
Wonders of digital.
And actually, I have found that it helps a lot, and you have a color image because then in grading you may play like filters, All
right, you play with the colors.
It was a great help.
Yeah, especially on
I
skin
separately
tones.
worked with face, with the skin tone.
Yeah.
Something was too bright, this yellow light, you have a control on it. So
So you graded the color first and then looked at the black and white and had less to do in the black and white than the color because you'd already sort of...
No, but during shoot, of course, the monitors were black and white.
Yeah.
But I was not watching monitors. It was handheld, everything, because we need speed.
Yes, I think you did. 15 days.
No way to shoot it in 15 days.
Yeah. Was that
it was a great thing because we have a great actors, It's
amazing.
It's unique cast. And I was shooting handheld, just very close, probably 3-4 feet, and you feel it inside the action. It was really I felt a drive to be so near to such actors.
All the
Great
time.
experience.
Yeah. What you were using the Alexa Mini, were you?
Yes, it's Alexei Mini.
Yeah.
Alexei Mini and lenses. It was a Cook Speed Panchra
Right.
Mark third.
Right.
Of course, refurbished.
Right.
Orlando was shot with the same lenses, by the way. Actually, I think it's the three movies I have shot with these old Cooks. I like it.
Right. And what?
I like it more than you were, by the way.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know too much. What camera did you use when you were shooting on film then with Orlando? What was the camera?
At Orlando, we have Arri BL4.
Oh, BL4. Yeah. I had one of those. Yeah. Big heavy camera.
Yeah. No, but I was more fit this time, so especially if you remember, I'm really proud of the shot running through the maze. With Tilda Swinton. It was handheld. People say, what good Steadicam. It was just handheld.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's brilliant. You're a really incredible
but
operator.
You see, it was a great situation because it was a very soft grass. And I was barefoot. So it was a very good stabilization.
I want to go back to Come and See. There's one thing I've always been interested in. Well, there's more than one thing, but I've been interested in the ending of Come and See. Was that ending discussed while you were shooting? You know, the use of archive footage and the final scene with the boy shooting at the picture.
So what is your question about this stuff?
Did you understand that was the way the end was going to be when you were shooting the
Yes,
live
it
action?
Was in the script.
Really?
It was in the script,
really? Yeah. Amazing. Yeah.
The only thing, again, we were discussing where to put the portrait of Hitler to shoot. And we can't find the place. And I was irritated, so just in this swamp, that's it. So you see this water, just put it here.
Wow.
Again, it was decided just
on the day.
The day.
It's one of the most powerful scenes in any film, I think.
Yeah.
Kind of amazing. It reminded me a little bit about, again, the end of Ivan's childhood, where you find out the boy is dead when they're in Berlin going through the archives, and then it cuts to the archive footage in that film. It's really powerful.
Good.
Well, I don't know what else. What else?
Covered a lot.
I think this has been brilliant conversation. I love talking about your work.
Yes, I got a pleasure because really I don't have any communication with cinematographers. I'm sitting at home. It's really it's a fun for me. It's sort of entertainment. Thank you very much for.
No, it's great. What are you doing? Are you shooting much now still? You like working with Sally Potter, but is there much you shoot in Russia at the moment?
We're finishing. I'm just working on. I'm working on grading the movie we have shot last year.
All right,
and it's still in post production. It's a lot of graphics. It's endless.
All right.
Very complicated. We're shooting during 2 years.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
120 days.
Wow.
120 days of shooting, you may imagine.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's long, isn't it?
Yeah, it's long, yeah.
What's the title of the film?
It's a screening of a famous novel by Russian, it's popular writer, Victor Pelevin. It's Empire V. It's a social fantasy. About vampires, but they're not vampires. They're not thinking blood, but they have a special organ to take a small drop from one person and get all the information about it. And that's why they're ruling the world.
Oh, sounds good.
Oh, wow.
And that happens in Moscow, everything.
And when is it being released? We want to see it.
The nearest time it will be released next autumn, I think.
Oh, my. Yeah.
Maybe later. I don't know.
You said there were graphics on it. Was it visual effects? Were there a lot of visual effects on
Yes, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. About 10,000 shots with special effects.
wow.
There's a lot of green screen
Oh my. Yeah.
like that.
How do you feel about that? Because, obviously there's
Not
hardly
very
any
good,
in
I
Come and
must say.
See. Really.
Not very good.
And it's a different world, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't like this world, but what we can do?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think we need to try analog. I don't mean technically, but to shoot real people, real
Yeah.
spaces,
Yes,
real
yes,
landscapes,
Yeah,
as far as was still possible. But very soon it will be not possible at all, I think.
yeah, yeah. But
Total digital world.
yeah, the end really suffers, and I think people should pay attention to films like Come and See and realize what they're missing from trying to create it
Yeah.
technically rather than actually create it emotionally on a real set.
But who will do you such opportunity to
Yeah.
shoot in the way of Come and See? I
Yeah.
think it's producers now. Nobody.
Don't say that. You're depressing me.
Okay.
We did do it last year on 1917. I don't know if you've seen the film, but that was
Yes, I have seen it, of course.
for the most part, it was in camera. I mean,
Yeah.
there were digital effects, but it was very much sort of backgrounds and blending, one shot to another. It wasn't like creating. I mean, we never shot with green screen. It wasn't like creating a world behind the character. I think it's really important that whether it's actors or non-actors, they actually in a real live situation. Yeah.
I really watched twice backstage stuff. It's such interesting.
Oh, yeah,
right.
yeah. The
I
making
think
of.
it was, yeah.
New
I
technology.
think you feel a real drive doing it, yeah?
Yeah, real trip. Yeah,
Yeah,
you get
it
a
was
high, don't you? Yeah.
fun. A little scary in the beginning when we were trying to figure out
Yeah,
how
it's a great
to do
experiment. Great
Yeah.
experiment.
Yeah, I don't think it's for every film, but it was
Yeah.
good for that one, I think.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to try to do something new because
Yes. Each time.
even producing just very good, I think, masterpieces, it's not interesting. You need to do
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
to keep the life going on.
Yep.
Yeah.